All right, we are live. All right, if you're watching this live, thank you so much. Feel free to say hi and comment. If you're watching the recording, that's cool too. I appreciate it. If any of this resonates with you, feel free to comment below, tag someone who you think this information might benefit. And yeah, I just really appreciate you tuning in. So the purpose of this video, why are we here? We're doing a Mindset Monday. So guys, every Monday we're going to start to do these videos. So this is also a little what's to come. And what we'll be doing is we'll be talking about the mindset of a climber, what that is, how we can improve upon that, and how we can use our mindset to essentially progress in climbing. I can tell you guys a couple little stories, but so I've worked with some individuals who were already strong. And it's fun to work with someone like that because you already have a functioning machine, right? Somebody who is climbing well, they have their wits about them, but they're lacking usually mentally. And what I mean by that is they might be burdened with self-limiting beliefs, negative mind talk, things of that nature. So he or she might be really strong. They get up and maybe they're run out from their bolt, or they're far above their gear, or the boulder feels really high, and doubt creeps in, right? Concern. We start botching beta, right? Or we forget our sequence. And that's where mindset comes in. So as a professional climbing coach and mindset coach, it's really important that I work on my clients, my athletes, whether they're semi-pro or USA climbing or just hardcore weekend warriors. The whole idea is that we can also not only shape our body to be better and more form-fitted for the sport we choose to do, which in this case is climbing, but we can condition our mind as well. So I'll give you guys this story on mindset. I was recently being challenged not only physically but also with my mindset when it came to climbing a route, in Chattanooga. So I will drive to Chattanooga pretty regularly to get my climbing in. And some of you might be familiar with the bunker at Foster Falls. And there's a route there. It went up a small face and then became extremely steep through the roof. And then there was like a small little traverse. It's a hard route, and I found it mentally challenging, right? And it was testing my mindset because when I first started climbing the route, I was like, oh wow, I feel good. And I got up a couple bolts and I felt solid. I got into this pinching rest, and I had a ledge, and I was able to get a high foot and rock up and kind of press up into the roof. So here I'm not pulling anymore, right? I'm pressed up, and I'm shaking off my hands, and I'm trying to relax and trying to calm my breathing, but I started to get worked up, and I started to feel like, and this is all in my head, like the roof is crushing me in, and I'm getting like more worked up, and I'm pushing harder, and it's almost like I'm fighting myself. The rock isn't changing, nothing's moving, but I start to have self-doubt, right? It starts creeping in. It's like, oh no, like I'm getting pumped. Am I gonna make this? Am I gonna do this? What's gonna happen? And I knew what was coming because in the guidebook it talks about reaching out to essentially a bad pinch, right? A not so positive handhold, and then getting a high foot, so you're going horizontal, and then hucking yourself out to this next lip. The way I would describe this roof and this route would be that they're like these, almost think of like a roof, but pancakes stacked on top. And where there's a little seam between the pancakes, it's just enough to get your fingers in. And I had to pinch one, which was like a solid seam, and then throw to one where I had about an inch or two to go backwards and to fish my hand in and catch the swing. The move wasn't that hard physically, and I hucked for it a few times, but I was scared. I was fearful of this move. It felt intimidating. There was like kind of this, that primordial safety net. That lizard brain checked in and was like, don't throw yourself off a cliff. Don't go for that move, because it felt very vulnerable, and like doing so, you're throwing yourself into space. And may I mind you, there's absolutely, in the grand scheme of things, like no danger with this move, right? It's not a dangerous move. But I was scared because it went against everything that lower part of our brain says. Self-preservation, don't jump off a cliff, don't throw yourself into space. And there I was going against that lower part. And that lower part, we can overcome, right? We can work on that to quiet that voice, and we can start to work and condition our minds as well, just like we do our bodies in training, to bring another voice up, right? To elevate a different voice of, yes, I can, I got this, I can do this, I trained for this, I'm a coach in this, like whatever it is, right? And after I threw forward a couple times, I took the whipper a few times, I kind of shook the nerves off and was like, all right, I got this, I can do this. And then I stuck the move, I felt good, I finished the route, I came down, I pulled my rope, and after about 2 more burns, I had some success. And it felt really good. But what I took away from that process personally was that I was able to use essentially your bigger, newer brain, right? That frontal cortex, and really start to logically process what was going on. I'm sport climbing, I have a good belayer, I have a rope, I'm tied in, we did our safety check, our toe-to-toe check, right? Climber to climber, making sure all the knots are good, we're tied in. And once I started kind of like going back through those basics and reassuring myself, and I was like, I know the moves, I stuck the moves, I could do this, this isn't outside my grade, and started to, instead of focusing on limiting self-beliefs and that negative mind talk that's over here, I started focusing on all the things that I have built myself up to that point. And once I kind of instilled that confidence and quieted that negative voice, I was able to execute the moves and do the route. So it's one of those things that I work on with my clients, with you guys, and that's what this is all about. And in videos to come for our Mindset Mondays, I'll be giving you guys tips, tricks, tools, and things that I use that I've had success since, I've been a climbing coach since 2013, and I've helped hundreds of people since then overcome self-limiting beliefs, overcome negative mind talk, and I've helped myself progress substantially since then with these tools, these tips, and these tricks that I use with my clients. So one of those is what I gave you in the story today. Starting to focus on fear, starting to focus on limiting self-beliefs and doubt, right? Self-doubt. And then bringing myself back to center, calming my breath, calming my mind, cooling off that nervous system that's getting worked up for doing things that primordial brain's like, don't do it, you'll die. And then that frontal cortex is like, it's 2020, we're tied into a nylon rope, like we have safety gear, like this is a form of recreation. I'm out here to have fun, and let all that other stuff melt away and actually proceed with success, with successful attempts. So I wanted to share that story with you guys today. If you've ever had this happen to you, please comment below. Say like, yes, I have. Feel free to comment if you guys want to DM me and talk about this a little bit more in depth. I would love to have that conversation with you. I'm here to serve the climbing community, and I found that talking to other climbers has always helped me kind of grow that mindset and get views and points from other perspectives and other people. So if you're interested in having that conversation with me, I would love to have that conversation with you. I hope today's Monday mindset was good for you. It was fun for me to share that story. I'm glad that I got a chance to climb that route, and if and when I go back to Foster Falls, I'm going back to the bunker and I'm going to confidently and enthusiastically redo that route because it's a fun route It has a large horizontal roof dyno, which still is, for me, slightly scary and intimidating, and for that reason I want to go back and have that interaction, and then I also want to use that as an assessment tool to see how well I perform, how many attempts it will take me, and if I can do so with more of like a geared up mindset, like, ooh, I'm gonna attack this, I'm gonna have some fun with this, I'm gonna fly through the air, as opposed to hesitation and doubt. So seeing what emotions rise up for me when I climb that route. And that's something you guys can do too. There's another tip, there's another trick. Reclimbing a route that had once intimidated you for more of a psychological reason, and to reclimb that route and know, how do you feel? What's going on for you, right? Are you feeling adrenaline, or are you able to stay calm? Does your mouth get dry, right? Some people get cotton mouth when they start to get adrenaline, when their nervous system kicks in. They get to go into fight or flight, and what we're trying to do is calm that and keep those really strong emotions at bay, to stay centered and to stay calm while we're climbing. We don't want adrenaline as climbers. Maybe afterwards, but not during the act of climbing, because that leads into absolute muscle fatigue, and we can get into more of the science behind that in a later video. So thanks again for watching, guys. As always, be good to each other, and if you got questions, comments, concerns, you can leave them in the comments below, or you can also always get at me at matt@summitforcetraining.com. That's my email. Or you can find me also at summitforcetraining.com, or Instagram or Facebook, Summit Force Training. My handle is SummitForceTRN. Thank you guys so much. I gotta cut these videos, and peace.